Good evening. I'm Dennis Hoffman, President and CEO of Volunteers America Dakotas. We're choosing to wear masks this evening out of love, respect, and health for those we serve and for our community. We support our staff who are working to take care of others during these challenging times, and we support essential workers, healthcare professionals, and every member of our community. We respect the leadership of our city and will honor their request to wear masks. Thank you for your leadership during these unprecedented times. Although it may appear to be unnecessary for a viewer's perspective, what you cannot see is the additional people in this room tonight, working behind the scenes with our fantastic production company, Pinnacle Productions. Thank you. I am so glad that you're all here with us tonight. Joining me this evening are Lindsay Myers, the current chair of our board of directors, and Tony Noor, our immediate past chair.
Thank you, Dennis. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I invite everyone to join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you with thankful hearts. Thank you for our country and our community, and we ask that your healing hand guides us through these challenging times. Tonight, as Volunteers of America Dakotas celebrates 100 years of impact, we're celebrating your work and know that without you, we cannot truly transform lives. I pray for the people served, the staff, volunteers, community, and each person here with us this evening. May we always be reminded to love our neighbor, to have grace and forgiveness in our hearts. Help us to be your servants to find the lost, feed the hungry, and heal the broken. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Lindsay. And I'd like to take a moment to thank our primary sponsors, Avera and Sanford Health. Volunteers America Dakotas is a faith-based organization that helps those in our community who need it the most. We are one of 31 national affiliates, and we've been serving the Sioux Falls community for 100 years. We believe we're called by the gospel to guide people to live healthy and fulfilling lives. Volunteers America was founded in 1896 in New York City by Ballington and Maud Booth with the help of some 5,000 supporters. In 1920, Maud and Ballington Booth asked their good friends, Frank and Emma Tremont, to move to South Dakota to start a Volunteers of America storefront mission and to do prison ministry. Frank was the chaplain of the South Dakota State Penitentiary during this period of time. In 1923, the agency began providing childcare and became one of the 7 original Sioux Falls organizations to be funded by what has now become the Sioux Empire United Way. Volunteers America Dakotas has provided childcare services to those most in need ever since.
Thank you, Dennis. It's amazing to hear how VOA Dakotas has changed and grown over the last 100 years. Today, we focus our impact in 4 service areas: children, youth, and families, homelessness, intellectual and developmental disabilities, and behavioral health. I'm excited to be here tonight and share the story of one of the many lives Volunteers of America has impacted over the last century. Jaime, who you hear from shortly, participated in one of our programs back in 2005. Since leaving the program, Jaime has gone on to become an addictions counselor and is now changing the lives of others. Here is her story.
For 100 years, Volunteers of America Dakotas has made an impact. We've changed lives. We've served those who need us most. We create change through commitment, compassion, empowerment. We uplift children, youth, and families. For 100 years, we've helped the most vulnerable people in South Dakota, impacting the lives of people just like Jaime.
I started using alcohol and marijuana when I was 14, and I moved on to using methamphetamine when I was 15. I ended up being addicted to that for the next 10 years. It was one chaotic thing after another happening in my life. You know, eviction notices, almost getting my light shut off all the time. And then I brought in my 2 boys into the world. I was 19 when I had my oldest son. I think I had just turned 21 when my second son was born. So I remember being in that place where I really wanted to quit and I really wanted help, but I had no idea where to even look. I didn't know how to take the first step and I didn't know how to ask anyone for help. And so I remember having very little faith in any God or any spirituality, but saying, if there is a God out there, I need to get out of this mess I've created because I don't know how to get out of it by myself. And so I always think of like me being arrested and going to jail and then ending up in treatment and eventually ending up at Volunteers of America New Start. It was a blessing in disguise because it's what I needed in order for me to get the help I needed. And I remember calling New Start all the time saying, do you have a bed open for me yet? Do you have a bed open for me yet? Because I'd heard it's such a great place for pregnant women and women who are trying to get custody of their kids back. One day the counselor finally said, I can tell you really want to be here, so we're going to let you have the next bed that opens up. So I was just relieved. I remember being just so excited. That little voice in my head that kept me going was that these kids need you and you're their mom and you don't want them to live without you. And I didn't want to live without them. I was pregnant with my youngest son when I went into treatment. And I often tell him, like, you helped save me because I think that being pregnant with you helped me take this more seriously. And so he even said, and he'd say, I helped save my mom, I remember thinking, man, this is what being a mom is supposed to be like. I missed out on this being an addict, missed out on the bonding and cherishing these moments. And I was so focused on my addiction and myself. And then now I get to put my kids first. It's very rewarding. I don't feel like I would ever go back and relive any of that 10 years of my addiction, but I feel like all of that helped me be where I am today and helped me doing what I am today. As a counselor who's helping people who are struggling with addiction, I never know what impact I have on somebody. I never know what seeds I'm planting. So I feel like as a donor, it's the same thing. Like you may not know what direct impact you're having on somebody if you donate to some place like Volunteers of America, but just know that you are making an impact, that it is making a difference.
For 100 years, Volunteers of America Dakotas has impacted our community, and we're just getting started. We're ready for the next century. Are you with us?
I want to thank Jaime for sharing her powerful story with us. VOA Dakotas has planted many seeds and helped countless individuals grow to achieve their full potential. Just look at Jaime. Her time with Volunteers of America shaped the person she is today, and now she's impacting the lives of so many others. Last year, Volunteers of America Dakotas served nearly 10,000 people in our state. The impact on each one of these individuals has real potential to transform others, just like Jaime.
Tony, that's exactly the type of impact we have been making on lives, and with your support, we'll continue to make in the future. Please consider helping others like Jaime with your gift. You can make your gift by texting the word VOAD to 855-735-2437 or by visiting our website at voa-dakotas.org.
We know that because of the physical, financial, and mental impact COVID-19 has had on so many people, the work of Volunteers of America Dakotas is needed now more than ever. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released staggering new data in August showing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the nation's mental health. This report indicated that 40% of U.S. adults reported struggling with mental health or substance use within the last 30 days. We're helping to address this need across the state of South Dakota through telehealth services. Volunteers of America Dakotas has been in our community through challenging times before, and we're committed to continuing to help those who need us now and for years to come.
Lindsay, thank you. And thank you to our viewers for considering your support to help people in our community by donating to our organization. To help people in our community, please text the word VOA-Dakotas, VOAD, to 855-735-2437 or by visiting our website at voa-dakotas.org. And thank you to each of you for making a difference. Even in these challenging times, it's important that we take this night to remember, to celebrate, and to believe. While we're celebrating 100 years of impact in the Sioux Falls community, Volunteers of America National is also achieving a big milestone as they mark their 125th year. In honor of this, we have a special message tonight from Mr. Mike King, our national president and CEO.
Hi, Mike King here. I want to thank you for gathering in the name of Volunteers of America. I want to thank you for gathering and supporting my wonderful friend Dennis Hoffman, your wonderful leader there as CEO of the Volunteers of America of the Dakotas. I want to give a special shout out and hi to Kurt Zaske and his family there. I want to tell you all that I miss seeing you. I miss being at your breakfast this past year, but I so appreciate the opportunity just to share a quick message with you about your wonderful reception that you're having and your celebration. We will all be celebrating, the entire brand, the entire Volunteers of America family will be celebrating our 125th anniversary year throughout the year of 2021. Just a few weeks away, literally a few weeks away, we will be celebrating that anniversary of 125 years of changing lives and saving lives in America throughout our whole country and throughout the entire Volunteers of America family. And right there in the Dakotas, you'll be celebrating 100 years. I mean, you were quick to jump on the bandwagon, so I want you to know that you can take credit for the entire brand, and for all those 125 years. You are a part of a big family that has been here for a good while, that has proven that these services are incredibly valuable as we help America's most vulnerable. And as you right there in the Dakotas do so much to help the most vulnerable right there in your backyard. Thank you, and God bless you.
It's amazing what we can do together. Today, with the commitment of nearly 16,000 highly trained and dedicated staff throughout the country, Volunteers America touches the lives of 1.5 million people in 400 communities across the United States each year. All this because 125 years ago, two individuals planted a seed that has grown into a life-changing nationwide organization. When Maude and Ballington Booth founded Volunteers America back in 1896, they envisioned a movement dedicated to reaching and uplifting the American people. In honor of this founding, we have formed the 1896 Society as a way of gathering resources for the foundation, while the foundation in turn responds to the emerging needs and future opportunities for Volunteers of America Dakotas. These individuals are planting seeds today that will impact people far into the future. 1896 Society members, tonight, thank you for being champions in giving in our community. Your contributions provide resources that help enrich the lives of thousands of people every year. Thank you.
Tonight, we celebrate one outstanding individual who exemplifies the vision of our founders, Maude and Ballington Booth. The couple envisioned a movement committed to reaching and uplifting the American people. On behalf of the new organization, the Booths pledged to go wherever we are needed and do whatever comes to hand, a declaration that has guided Volunteers of America's outreach efforts ever since. Maude, known as a woman before her time, became a pioneer in the prison reform movement and established the first halfway houses, known as Hope Halls, which helped former convicts readjust to society. To this day, Volunteers of America manages programs based on models put in motion over 100 years ago. It is in the spirit of that vision we award the 4th annual Before Its Time Award to an individual who has shaped Volunteers of America Dakota's future through his inspiring service.
Tonight, we're honored to recognize Brad Benson, my friend, with this award. I'm asked from time to time what we desire of board members. Simply put, we hope for people of faith, men and women who feel called to join our ministry of service. We also believe and expect that our members are committed and show up to participate in meetings and in activities. And we look for leadership, advice, and consent. Brad, you truly exemplify each and every one of these qualities.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you to the Foundation for your consideration and recognition of this award. As the sixth recipient of this award, I am honored and humbled by joining the short but esteemed list of prior recipients. Hello and good evening to all of you participating in this awesome event tonight. Thank you for doing so. 20 years ago, I was introduced to this great organization by my colleague Ron Anderson. I began attending finance meetings with the approval and acceptance of Pam Bollinger and the board. It was my intention in serving in this capacity for a term or two. But what I didn't know or see coming is that I would learn to understand, admire, and love this organization for its ministry, who it serves, and its impact on our community. Over the years, I have attended fundraisers, program tours, lunch and learns, Christmas gatherings, church services, special projects, community events, youth center activities, and a few meetings. Okay, a lot of meetings. All of which have been a privilege and a pleasure. I believe that this organization has given me much more than it has ever received from me. I am so thankful for the people I've met, the dedicated staff, the volunteers, committee members, board members, and those receiving services. I'd like to give a special shout out and thank you to Dennis Hoffman and Al Peratt, two friends that have helped me grow my faith and strengthen my spirituality. And of course, thank you to my family for their support as well. Over the past 20 years, I've seen Volunteers of America Dakota's operating budget double, the ministry flourish, and the community impact thrive. This is a result of those who tirelessly carry out the day-to-day services, those who attract and safeguard the resources, and the many others who are offering up their talent, time, and treasures. This is a very special organization, one that prides itself on partnering with others to guide, uplift, support, and strengthen the lives of people in and outside of our community. Now, I would be remiss, as the current treasurer and chair of finance, to not mention this organization's need for your support, especially in these extraordinary times. It is my hope that as you are tuning into this event tonight, that you are also asking and challenging yourself to give generously and affiliate with Volunteers of America Dakotas. Again, thank you for this award and the opportunity to express my sentiments to this great organization in its entirety. Good night and God bless.
Brad, we truly thank you. We are grateful for your time, your talent, and the resources. Your dedication to our ministry of service is truly appreciated.
In addition to our 1896 members, we are blessed with the support of almost 100 community leaders and approximately 325 team members who help us answer God's call to uplift, strengthen, guide, and support those who need us. This work is possible because of you. Recently, with the financial commitments of over 400 investors in the Sioux Falls area, we completed our Home Place initiative, which will provide housing and support for the homeless teens in our community for generations to come.
This evening, we hope you've learned how Volunteers of America Dakotas has over 100 years of impact on our community and how we're transforming lives through our various services. We're excited about the next 100 years and remain committed to helping people. We will continue adjusting our services to address community needs and continue planting seeds for the future. There is no doubt you've heard a lot about our programs this evening, and I'd like to mention just one more, our out-of-school time programming. We know there's a need in our community for programming for our youth. Volunteers of America Dakotas is planning to lay the foundation for future generations by enhancing and expanding our children, youth, and family services. We hope you'll join us this May to learn more about this project.
Thank you, Lindsay and Tony. And thanks to all of you for being with us here tonight. Our celebration tonight was meant to provide a time to remember that we are called by the gospel to guide people to healthy and fulfilling lives. We're a people of both faith and works. It was a night to celebrate our ministry of service to some of the most challenged and citizens among us. And tonight was a reason to believe that God will continue to bless our ministry in the days and years ahead. Go in peace and serve the Lord.